What's up, guys? Let's talk the NBA. Alright, so today I'm talking about the Portland TrailBlazers. Wesley Matthews, he has just went down with a torn Achilles tendon. So, it sucks, man. This season, so many great players are getting injured. And, even if it's not just great players, any players, injuries just suck in general. But let's focus on Wesley Matthews for this video specifically. So Wes Matthews obviously plays for the Portland TrailBlazers. He's a shooting guard. His numbers this season has actually dropped from last season, but with the emergence of Damian Lillard and as well as LaMarcus Aldridge are taking more shots. They also brought in Aaron Aflalo, so less shots to go around. His efficiency has stayed about the same. 3-point shot a little bit lower, but he's still a good player. He's still that 3-and-D that we like to call in the NBA, which is basically a guy that will knock down threes at a high percentage. Remember, this guy was in the 3-point shooting contest. He's shooting almost 40% from 3. And he is also a great defender. Him and Nick Batum, although Nicholas Batum has been not falling off, but, in a little slump of sorts sometimes, they're those guys. They're the type of guys that go like, I want to lock up their best player. I want to guard their best offensive player, and I want to slow him down or shut him down for tonight. And that's the type of player Wes Matthews is, that 3-and-D mold that all teams need and all contending teams have. So when we look at his actual numbers, 16 points a game, about 4 rebounds, almost 3 assists. He has above average per, which means he's better than the average basketball player in the NBA. This is a huge blow to the Portland TrailBlazers. Not only do they miss out on his defense, they miss out on his high percentage threes, but also that leadership and hard-working mentality. If you guys think back, he was way back, 2009 or 2010 when he was on the Utah Jazz. He wasn't really known. He had to make a name for himself. If I remember correctly, he was a second-round draft pick. So, he had to work for everything he had. And he played great that year in Utah. And Portland offered him a lucrative contract. Who wouldn't take it? He worked his butt off. Nothing was guaranteed in the NBA. He got a contract. He took it. And ever since then, he's just been steadily improving and becoming better and better. So, you lose that hard-working, that leadership mentality, on the court. Of course, he's still going to be with the team, in the locker room and stuff. But I mean on the court, having that extra guy, having that hard worker, especially on the defensive end, that's going to suck. Now, let's talk about the positives, though. Obviously, an injury is never positive, but you got to stay optimistic. With that being said, luckily, thank God, the Portland TrailBlazers organization pulled in a deal in the trade deadline to bring in Aaron Aflalo from the Denver Nuggets, who's also a 3-and-D type player. They really brought him in to be coming in off the bench as a depth player. But now with Wesley Matthews gone, Aflalo might have to start. We'll see how that goes. But, at least they have a player that's of the same type mold, so it fits in their system at the 3-and-D. And hopefully, they won't see that much of a drop-off. Aaron Aflalo is a good player. He's a good player. But, now you got to think the bench is going to be weaker. You brought him in to improve your bench. And Portland has had one of the worst benches in the last 3 years. And, they finally shown upside. Their bench has finally improved this year with Chris Kaman and all those guys. So, it's just sad to see this injury because it doesn't only affect Wes Matthews. It obviously affects the team. It obviously affects the starting lineups. It obviously affects the bench. So, Portland TrailBlazers going forward in the playoffs, it's tough. They're still a good team. They're obviously still going to be a good team, but they're going to miss Wes Matthews. I don't see them getting past the second round, to be honest, but, this injury just sucks. I still think, obviously, they're going to stay in the playoff race, of course. There's no doubt about that. But like I said, if they're lucky, they'll get to the second round and lose in the second round. Those are just my thoughts. Wesley Matthews, get better soon, man. You're a hard worker. All right, stay tuned, guys. Peace.